Hamilton,
And I'm Hidro and Jacob.
and welcome back to the Hardwood Huddle, a basketball podcast where we break down the latest news and games in the NBA and basketball world, presented to you by BellyUp Sports. How we doing, Hidro?
I'm doing good. Exciting hoops on
Yep.
TV. Currently, we got game two of the Western Conference Finals between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Currently in progress.
Yep. Score is 37, Minnesota, OKC 36, with 8 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the second quarter of the game. Make sure to like and subscribe the podcast. I just want to open up with that. And then below in the description, use our affiliate link for Opus Clips, AI clips that help us with us on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and all that stuff. I just wanted to get that out of the way first. We talked about it a little bit, so we might as well kind of start with it. Thunder versus Timberwolves. I mean, might as well open that up. Game one, how we feeling? How are we feeling about game one after game one? We're in game two now, but game one reaction.
Neither one of us got Dawson in this fight, so it's basically from a viewer perspective.
Yeah.
From a viewer perspective, it felt like Oklahoma City was kind of chopping at a tree,
Yep.
chopping the wood, and eventually Minnesota came tumbling down. the timber
Yeah.
for the Timberwolves came tumbling down, and they succumbed to a mostly blowout loss in game one. Despite the fact that it was a blowout loss, I do feel like there's some things that Minnesota could do to improve their standing here, and
Mhm.
I'm hoping that their coach figures out a way to implement that because I could see this series kind of going two ways. Either Oklahoma City Thunder is going to sweep them,
Mhm.
or Minnesota Timberwolves find a formula for victory, and now it's on OKC's coach, whose name is Mark Danon.
Yep.
It's up to him to figure out his X's and O's in terms of adjustments to make.
Yep.
And I feel like that's going to be a real difficult task for him if Minnesota does figure out a formula for victory.
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry. I mean, going back to game one, obviously, I mean, like the Timberwolves, for the first half of the game, it was a close game. I mean, first quarter it was 23-20, second quarter it was 25-24, so it was pretty much neck and neck there, pretty much. But I mean, the second half was it just showed that there's just kind of like levels to this, and this is like what we've kind of seen all year with the Thunder. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
third quarter 18 for the Timberwolves, 32 for the Thunder. Fourth quarter 22 for the Timberwolves and 38 for the Thunder. So it was
Do you
crazy.
have the
And if I'm
stats?
remembering correctly, I mean, that's 70 points in the second half of a basketball game. And I know in this day and age, we see that more often, but going from scoring 44 points in the first half to 70, I mean, adjustments got to be there, right? Coach Dag now
Mm-hmm.
is doing his own. But I mean, Shea, he was the big part of the third quarter. He had 12 points, 4 boards, 3 assists just in the third quarter. Sorry, 5 for 8, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. So not free throw merchant in the third quarter, but all around. I mean, Shea 31 points, 5 boards, 9 assists, 3 steals, 10 for 27, so 37% from the field, but still got 31, and he does other stuff on the court that makes up for that. So it's not a big deal. But 14 free throws. I mean, free throw merchant. Fake narrative, I think, because he only averages about 9 free throws a game compared to all of these other 32 plus points per game scores that we've seen in the last 6 to 7 years. Yeah, I mean, Shea's next level. And shout out to Julius Randle though for that game one performance. 28 points, 8 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, 9 for 13 from the field. I mean, who's the real number one option at the end of the day on this team? Is it Julius Randle or is it Ant? That's my question that I think about now.
If it's Julius Randle, then guess what? Minnesota's gonna lose.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
no, yeah,
that's not the way the team was designed.
nope,
And if it's not designed around Julius Randle, being your number one scorer and your key to victory, then it kind of shows on the court. So
Yeah.
obviously they need to find a way to get Ant going. I think that what the Timberwolves did in the first game was they had a game plan for SGA, implemented that, and
Yeah.
it was working in the first half.
Yeah.
Uh, and then it kind of got away from them in terms of the foul trouble that they
Hmm.
were getting into, and that had a downward effect on everything else that was going on in the second half. When you got, I think Jaden McDaniels fouled out,
Yep.
stuff like that, and then you end up with lesser backup players on SGA, and he started feasting
Yeah.
near the end, and that's what ended up, causing their downfall. So I feel like if they just stay out of foul trouble, number
Yeah.
one, and make sure that they're not getting off in terms of the free throw line,
Yep.
that they can actually make a better play in this.
Yeah.
I would need your prediction, of course, for the
Yeah.
series, and let me know what you think.
Um, my prediction for this series is I have Thunder in 6 more than likely. I'm expecting like an Ant magnet ball game. I feel like I talked about that a little bit for the Knicks and Celtics series for last round, but I'm expecting Ant to have a 40-point game at least sometime in this series. So I'm expecting that. And that's on top of, and that's with another Julius Randle game. Like I'm just gonna give them that. Yeah, but I'm taking Thunder. I'm Thunder in 6. It's just like, and I think that could be maybe just a little bit generous at the same time. I don't know. I don't see a world where this honestly goes 7 unless like Ant just turns into the player that we kind of know him as, right? Like a guy who can just kind of take
Mm-hmm.
over the game whenever he wants to. But when you have a free throw merchant like Shea, that's kind of hard to do. And you really can't stop him for the entire game because like that's what you said. We saw that in game 1 and that just did not happen. Second half was hell for them.
I, I was a little disappointed in how the Timberwolves played in that second half, especially since OKC was coming off of a tough game, a 7-game series against Denver,
Yep.
and had to play a couple of days later for for game one. And it's like,
Super
oh,
quick
so
turnaround.
immediate turnaround. And then these games are every other day. So
Yep.
they play Tuesday. They're playing again right now on Thursday, and
Yep.
they're going to play Saturday. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles when it comes to the conference finals.
Yeah.
And whoever wants it more, whoever's in better shape, all that stuff is going to come out uh, with the victory. But I think
Yep.
that Minnesota, I still think Minnesota has a chance. Uh, I feel like I said, the series will either go two ways. Either Minnesota's gonna hit them in the mouth, find a way to win, and I
Yep.
feel that OKC will have difficulty finding a counter for that,
Yeah.
and Minnesota will win as a result of that. Or Minnesota never figures it out, and it's going to be a sweep. I don't think there's any in between where
So you think it's like 6 or 4?
Minnesota, yes,
Hey, that's fair.
Minnesota in six, or the or the Thunder in four, and it's more likely the Thunder in four.
Mm-hmm.
A, because I predicted the Thunder to make the finals before the season started. If you read my
Yep.
BellyUp Sports article for Western Conference predictions, and uh, just so I wrote an article this week on
Yep.
BellyUp Sports about the Julius Randle trade to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it's been effective for them. They
Mm-hmm.
figured out a way to play with him when it came to the end of the season. They started going on a big run to avoid the play-in tournament,
Yeah.
and it's carried over when you're talking about the first two rounds they
Mm-hmm.
played in the playoffs. So I think there's a chemistry there that should continue
Yep.
unless Oklahoma City is just that much of a better team,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna find out about that real quick. Right now, it's a tight game too,
Yeah.
and I do think that Minnesota has figured out a little something, but it's that
Yep.
second half. So I got to see what the second half looks like.
Exactly. And the Thunder's defense is like just suffocating. I feel like if their defense is clicking on all cylinders, like we've pretty much seen it all year, right? Like it's just like they're like you're just like left for dry, right? Like there's just like you're nothing for you to do. It's I wish I was a fan of the Thunder, like an actual fan, and I really could have been. I loved Russ like a lot. He's like the person that like really made me love basketball. And I could have just stuck it out with the Thunder, but I had to be a Suns fan. That was just terrible, terrible decision. I could have had an MVP, but I have Devin Booker. It's just, yeah, that was pretty out of pocket. But hey, yeah, I mean the Thunder are just, and I mean Ant's, gosh, excuse me, Ant's having a better game as well for today. He's got 14 points, 6 boards, 3 assists in the first half. So it's like. Like that's what we Ant just can't have stinker games. Like he can't just go out and like do like what he's been doing because that's not going to get them to beat this team. So it's we just have to just kind of hope for everything to like go right for the Warriors, the Wolves. So we have a good series because that's what I want at the end of the day. Because this isn't my favorite series that we're watching right now, but I still want to see like a super good series. That's what I'm hoping for.
Minnesota got to this same level last year, the conference finals. So their expectation is that they brought back pretty much every piece and just switched out Julius Randle with Karl Anthony Towns.
Yep.
So their expectation is we have the experience at this level of the playoffs, and we feel like we should be able to get further than what we did last year.
And yeah, I mean that I feel like that's expectations for every team, right? Like if you get beat in the second round, your expectations are to make it to the conference finals. Right? Like that's like for me at least, like other than like if you go from like a 6 seed all the way to like a 1 seed, then that's just championship. But it's like you just want to level up just a little bit.
It sounds like you're talking bad about the Cavaliers right now.
I mean,
because that's exactly what happened.
Hey, I'm from Ohio. I gotta love the Cavs, but hey, I mean they
were the 4th seed and made the semifinals, and then this year they were the 1 seed and made
conference finals or semi-conference finals. Yep, and they're back home. Donovan Mitchell's in Cancun, hanging out, having a good time, hopefully. But I hope the Cavs do well, and I think we'll do a DBR on the Cavs, but. I really hope the Cavs don't just like trade everybody and like force like stupid trades because I think that could just truly be the worst thing that could happen for them. We'll talk about this since it's in like the same sort of thumb, I guess, right? Shea won the MVP officially. Finally it was announced. Like how many more weeks were they going to have us wait is what it felt like, but yeah, Shea's the MVP. Let me pull up here. I have all of the.
It's normally announced after the first or second game of the semifinals, and here we are after the first game of the conference finals when they finally announced it.
Yeah,
I would love if the NBA put out a statement that said something along the lines of, "Hey, we just didn't want to influence the semifinal result." Once you announce the MVP, then when you start seeing calls go his way, now all of a sudden you feel some type of way about it or something. Like NBA didn't put out any press or memo release or anything. It was just, hey, we're randomly announcing the awards as opposed to having it on a fixed schedule like I've been accustomed to.
Yeah, and the thing is like, so yesterday it was announced that he was MVP. In Arizona, we have it's 45 minutes away from where I live. It's like we have it's like the Salt River, right? Like you go out there on like a tube. There's like white caps, like right that like you like float down the river on. And I left my phone in the car because I don't want it to get wet. Not thinking that they're gonna announce the MVP today. I'm like, oh no, like I'm getting to watch basketball later. I don't know if they're gonna announce the MVP today. I get back, Shea's the MVP. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, get out of here with that. Like, I don't. Like, give me something fun. Like, make it like drama filled. Like, let's make it like a reality TV show. Like cameras around Shea and Jokic for like 2 weeks up until leading up, and then they release a video. Like it's like a series, like a mini series. Like you get 1 episode every week, and there's 4 episodes, 4 weeks of it, in the fourth episode we seen, it's like Shay's the MVP, like a full announcement. Like, I don't know, make it fun. Like, just do something with it instead of just like
idea.
Shams, hey, Shay's the MVP. Have a nice night. That was pretty much what
I like that idea. So basically, the playoffs start, and they announced, I think before the playoffs or like right at the beginning of the playoffs, who the top 3 were for MVP voting.
Yeah,
and
that was like
I
think right at the start.
Yeah, then you could just follow them with like a camera and have them talk it up until it's time. All 3 of them, and then you have that announcement at a scheduled time.
Exactly. That would be perfect. And you know what? I for some reason I've kind of forgotten about this, but the Netflix show that they're doing with they did like the QB one, they did like the wide receivers one, and then they're during the off season, right? I don't remember when they dropped the basketball one, but we have KD for this summer's one that we'll see in probably like August. KD, Shea, Jaylen Brown. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody else. Tyrese Halliburton's in it. Like we're getting like a good group of guys for this one, so it's actually gonna like the KD
like
stuff.
A Hard Knocks type of thing.
Yeah, like we're gonna be like we'll see like what's happening like inside the Suns. Hopefully, that's what I'm excited to see. We'll see like what this season's been like for Shea and stuff. But the MVP results. Let me get back to that. Shea
and one thing I got one more gripe. The fact that the NBA announced that they wanted to do the MVP results on TNT that night, and it's being posted on X.
Yeah.
By an ESPN reporter. ESPN has a contract with NBA currently in progress, so it's like y'all are the same company technically. Y'all kind of working in cohorts with each other, in collaboration with each other. So why would you have somebody just post it on the internet that who the MVP is, and it's kind of like a little blurb, like it's not like it loses its effect in terms of how prestigious the award is.
Exactly.
When somebody posts a little 100 character things that SGA wins the MVP award.
Yeah, and the MVP
when they have the
already at this point
video, they have this whole video presentation and stuff they want to do on TNT and talk to the winner and have them do a speech, yada yada yada. Yeah. But we sitting there, we knew hours
before. Like I think I got on the river around like 10 o'clock. I got out at like 12:45. Like we knew, I think before 12:45. So closer probably to like 11:30, maybe even 12. Like we knew like way before we had an actual game of basketball start. And that's the thing. It's like, nobody, if you're going to treat it like it's just some other reward on a Thursday afternoon that you get handed to at your job, and you're like, hey, employee of the month, like that's pretty much what it is. Like you're the best employee in the NBA, and it's like they're treating it like it's like out at like Red Robin, like on like a Thursday afternoon. It's like, hey, by the way, you won employee of the month. Like that's pretty much what it feels like almost. And then it's like no one's gonna like remember like that, like Shea like won the MVP and like what came along with that, like him giving the Rolexes out, the speech like that he gave to his wife, like that, like all that stuff is super cool to see. And I don't know why they don't really take more advantage of it. It's stupid. I do not get it. But the results were for the MVP. Shea obviously won with 71 first place votes and 29 second place votes. No votes after that. He third, fourth, fifth. And then second place is Nikola Jokic, 29 first place votes, 71 second place votes.
So that was flipped, right? So
flipped. It was just flipped completely around.
People either voted for SGA 1 or 2, and then reversal. If they didn't pick him 1, then they picked him 2, and then Jokic.
And I didn't think it was gonna like end up like that. Like that's not kind of how I thought it was gonna be. And like, but the fact that the differential is 71 to 29 is crazy. That is some crazy work. Like Jokic like deserved at least like 35 votes, 39 votes, not 29 first place votes. Like what is that? Like what are we doing?
Let me pull up his stats real quick. You can keep going.
It is just but
a triple double from a center.
Yeah, triple double from a center. Don't get me wrong, and I don't want my reaction to this like taking anything away from what Shea's done, because what Shea's done has been crazy. Like, and you can't just not admit that, but it's also like this is why voter fatigue is stupid, and like we need to fix who we have voting for these awards. Because hold on, I know there was like a crazy one that I saw, like Evan Mobley received a vote for MVP. Like what?
Mm-hmm.
Like what are we? Like I get he won Depoy, but like I don't like what. Like no,
What did
like
he? What place did he get though?
he got one fifth place vote, and
All
then
right,
that was
so
it.
since it was a fifth place vote, it didn't really affect the outcome. That person either picked SGA 1 or 2, and then Nikola Jokic 1 or 2.
One
So
or two.
because they were like kind of flipped and nobody gave a first place vote to somebody else, it
Yeah.
didn't really change the outcome. So I'm not necessarily worried about who they gave,
No,
the
and
down
yeah, I
ballot
mean,
votes to.
yeah, and that stuff like doesn't matter at the end of the day. But like, it's still like why do we have like why do they have to vote on so many people? Like I don't like I get like you have to vote for 5 people for first, second, third, fourth, fifth. But like I just don't get where you get Evan Mobley from. That's just what confuses me. But third place, Giannis with 88 third place votes, 9 fourth place, 3 fifth place. I mean, I won't even label the fourth and fifth place votes until it becomes relevant. Tatum with 11 third place votes, 84 fourth. Donovan Mitchell came in fifth with 65th place votes. And then LeBron James with 13 fifth place votes and 1 fourth place vote. I mean, LeBron, like how, what, 30, 40 some years old, right? Like still getting MVP votes. Jordan was not playing basketball at this period of time. I mean, just let me stop. Just like it's just not even not a conversation.
LeBron is 6th in MVP voting at the age of 40, which is quite impressive.
I mean, I hope to be in like that like level of like athleticism when I'm 40. Like that, I pray for that, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. But it's all right. It's okay. But yeah, I mean, shout out to Shea. Obviously, congratulations on winning the MVP. That's one of the best things you could ever do. So,
congrats to Shea. A lot of people want to say that we've had 7 consecutive MVPs.
Yep.
That aren't from the U.S.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to be serious, I mean, SGA went to like high school and college and all that stuff here. It's like,
yeah, he's only the second Canadian to win MVP next to Steve Nash, so that's kind of cool. I mean, but like Canada, like I'm not like I don't think of Canada as like its own thing. Like I just think that's like an extension of the United of the U.S. Like I'm not like I have like they're not like speaking a completely different language. They can speak French, but like they're not speaking like some language that I couldn't even like think of. Like
I bet SGA cannot speak French.
I don't.
That guy. That guy is dual American. He was just born in Canada. It's somebody that's born there but grew up here.
Let's try to get Shea on Team USA. Like I think that should be our next goal. Just get Shea and Jokic. Like let's just throw bags at them. Just be like 50 mil to come play for Team USA.
You cannot get Jokic.
I don't care. I like Jokic is still like he hoops in America. Like he races horses in Serbia. Like be on the Serbian national horse racing team. Be on the USA basketball team. That's just no. Imagine
Jokic averaged 30 points.
Yep.
30 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists. 80% free throw shooting. That's
what do you shoot from
so
3?
Ridiculous. And his 3-point field goal percentage, I think it was 42.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. And I think it's like 4. What is it? 42.
41.7.
Yeah, and I think it's probably closer to like probably 43 and a half, like without like a bunch of like half court heaves and stuff. because like who's really counting that? Like I'm not like that's not a shot attempt. That's just like you're going for broke pretty
I hear
much.
the NBA is going to stop counting that as shot attempts
They
unless it
should
goes in,
because
so,
because
to encourage
players will
people
just not let
to
go
go
of it
for it.
until the clock goes. It's just stupid.
Hmm.
Stupid.
But for somebody to average a 30-point triple double and only get 29 first place votes out of that, that's gotta be fatigue. So
It
I
is.
I did a post on X that was basically like, all right, so I'm gonna need the NBA to keep that same energy when the Oklahoma City Thunder have the best record in the league again for the next 2 or 3 years because that's the way it's going to be. First of all, and second of all, I feel like they're going best player on the best team.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you better not get no voter fatigue because
Yeah.
SGA is only going to have better numbers than he did last year. You can't tell me that somebody else is the MVP. It,
If
it
he's
looks
not,
like they want to go with best player on the best team
yeah,
because the only thing that SGA really truly has on Jokic is that his team was better
yeah,
in the regular season.
yeah. I mean, even down to like super analytically as well. Like Jokic is like does more. Like Shea has more win shares than Jokic, but that's because his team won more games. Like that's like, and his team is significantly better than that Nuggets team, even though they went to a 7-game series. We just know like it was they're just better, like regular season wise, obviously. Um, but wow, I feel like I just had something to say. Oh yeah, Wemby. We're just gonna have to just deal with a bunch of like Wemby, like from like starting next year. Like I feel like that Wemby's gonna be that guy where it's like him, Shea, or Jokic. Like now we're gonna have like three instead of just two. Like we have three
If I
with
look,
Giannis, but like Giannis never didn't receive a first place vote. Like Wemby will receive first place votes in third place. Like that's just how it's gonna be from now on, and that's just gonna be uh that's gonna be so exciting. I just can't wait. I hope Wemby comes back and is like a million times better than like everyone thinks he's gonna be. All right, off the MVP topic, Knicks versus Pacers, Pacers versus Knicks, as I have it on here.
yeah, say
I
the Pacers
mean,
first. The Knicks,
yeah,
the
Pacers
Knicks,
first. They deserve that respect.
the Knicks trailed.
I mean, Tyrese Halliburton, I mean, what a guy, what a player. Like, just like what he's becoming like a top like 5 favorite player for me right now. Like this run that they've been having since after the All-Star break. Like I've said, I felt like 30 times on this show. Like they're good. They're a great basketball team. And I want to pull up the Rick Carlisle quote that he said. I gotta find it.
All right, while you're looking for that, just to recap everybody,
Recap it.
the Pacers versus the Knicks ended with a 3-point victory by the Pacers in overtime. The Knicks led the Pacers by something like 19 points with 6 minutes to go, and they had like
Yeah.
a 99.8% chance to win. They led they the Knicks led the Pacers by 9 points with 52 seconds to go in the game, and somehow between Aaron Neesmith hitting the ungodly number of threes in a row
6.
and Tyrese Halliburton hitting a game, what he thought was a game-winning three at the end,
Yeah.
it turned out to be a game-tying two to go into overtime, and then the Pacers came out. That was an incredible collapse by New York. I would say I guess it's a combination. You got to say that was incredible shooting by the Pacers, but also an incredible collapse by New York.
Yeah.
And we'll get to why that was the case.
Yep. The quote that I wanted to pull up from Rachel Nichols tweeted it out last night. Rick Carlisle was asked whether he wished Halliburton hadn't done the choking gesture like he did. Tyrese has earned the right to do whatever he wants. He has. No one can be like angry that he did that. Like if like there's like somebody out there and it's like, oh, I wish he didn't do that. He can do whatever he wants. He doesn't miss like clutch shots. Like he is one of the most clutch players I've ever seen when he's literally matched up against the clutchest player in the league, that award wise, right? And Jalen Brunson, who won it. I mean, just like crazy. That was crazy. The bounce. And then I knew it was going in after I saw it bounce just sky high. I was laying in my bed with my girlfriend. I was like, what? Like, we got to watch the rest of this game. I'm like looking at the TV and I see Tyrese Halliburton like turn around, go to the 3-point line, shoot it with his ugly jumper. and it just bounces, and I'm like, it's over. Like, they're gonna win. And it goes in. I start sprinting around my house. Like, not out of like, let's go Pacers, just out of like, let's go basketball. Like, there's not that was so much fun. Like, I've never had so much fun watching a basketball game. Like, in that last like 6 minutes, like, or 9 minutes, however many minutes it was.
So you're not
like
a Knicks fan.
No, I mean, I like the Knicks. Don't get me wrong. Like, on my Instagram story right now, which is
it wasn't
funny.
fun for them. It wasn't fun for them.
No, it wasn't fun for them at all, and understandably. No, but I have my team is out of the playoffs. I have no connection to any of these teams. Like, I do not really care who makes it. Obviously, I care, but like, I don't. And so it's like, I just want to see some good games, and it's like, that was just the game that like I've just been waiting for. It was just something like that. And then it goes to OT. Obi hits the dunk, the double clutch. Like, that was just and one. God, just basketball, man. That was great. I'm like reliving it like I'm like a war veteran. Yeah. 138, 135 Pacers take the win. Yeah. I mean, Aaron Nesmith, like, that's who we gotta have to talk about. Was it
All right,
seven straight, or was it six straight?
Want to go Pacers first? Go ahead.
Yeah, we gotta go Pacers first. They deserve that. Like, they won. They came up big. Yeah, let me start with Aaron Nesmith, because he's like the savior of this, I feel like. This is like where it started for Aaron Nesmith. There was, they don't have like all of them like consecutively like timed. No.
Aaron Nesmith is the first player in NBA history to make 6 3-point field goals in the fourth quarter of a playoff game. Only 6 other players have made 6 threes in a quarter of a playoff game. Antoine Walker in 2002, Damian Lillard in 2021, Devin Booker in 2021, Michael Porter Jr. in 2021, Bojan Bogdanovic with Utah in 2021. 2021 must have been that year. And Steph Curry in 2022.
Who was that against? Was that against that was against the Kings, right?
Steph Curry?
Yeah.
Was against Boston.
Oh, that was in the finals.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, 20 points, playing 8 minutes in the fourth quarter, sorry. I mean, like, those shots, when he took, I think it was like the third shot, the third three, where he was like completely off balance, and he was like shooting from the wing, like with his legs just like spread out. I was like, what in the hell was that? And then I just saw it go in. Like, what are we doing? Like, people are making shots like that in the playoffs, and it's just great. I mean, OT, he was a plus 3 plus minus, so really kind of nothing there. But yeah, Tyrese Halliburton, 31 points, 4 boards, 11 assists, 1 steal. I mean, that was basketball, man. I'm at a loss for words still about it, honestly. I'm still just like thinking about how crazy it is. But I mean, if I'm the Knicks, I still think it's gonna be like a 7-game series. Like, I'm still like in it for like a long run. I think like the Knicks, like, when you have a game where like Jalen Brunson scores 43 and Cat scores 35, like you're winning that game like every time until Aaron Nesmith walks on the court and is like, I'm winning this game for my team pretty much. But yeah, I think the Knicks fans like really shouldn't be tweaking out about this game as much as I feel like they maybe are. Like, I don't really know what the reactions are on it right now, but I have Pacers in 7 for this series, but yeah, the Knicks are still a great basketball team. You don't score 135 points a game without being a good team and going to OT. So it's like, even though you blew a lead like you did, and which I mean was embarrassing, but like, it still was crazy. I mean, I'm looking at this shot differential chart, like the one where it goes up in like waves and stuff from like each quarter, and I'm looking at it in like the fourth or at the end of like the fourth quarter, it's just like a little bit of a jump for the Pacers, because it's just like that's where they came back, and everything else is Knicks. Like, it was first quarter 36-34, second quarter 33-28, and then that was when the Pacers just said like, hey, no, we're gonna win this basketball game, and no one's gonna tell us we can't. But what's your prediction on the series?
Yeah, I got the Knicks winning.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah, I got the Knicks winning. I got the Knicks winning in 7.
Mm-hmm.
They have home court advantage. And I'm just gonna break down why I think the Knicks are panicked in the fan base. Why it's not really in the locker room per se,
Mm-hmm.
but just in general, their history since 1999 has just not been very good.
Yeah.
They've had people come in, get seven-figure contracts and not play well injury
Yep.
wise. They brought in Phil Jackson for a
Yep.
time to try to right the ship with the trying bringing in his guys to try to formulate the triangle. That didn't work out. They had saviors in Carmelo Anthony and Amari
Yep.
Stoudemire
Yep.
and this, that, and the other come in. They've drafted unicorns and like Kristaps Porzingis
Yep.
in hopes that he would be like a Wemby type,
Yep.
and he went and Kristaps went on to win a championship last year, but
Yep.
the Knicks literally haven't even made the conference finals. This is their first time in the conference finals in 25 years.
Since
Like
the last time they
this
played
is
the Pacers. That was
yeah,
the last time.
this was like before you were born.
Oh yeah.
In '99, the Knicks in a shortened season, a strike shortened season, they made the finals as an eighth seed and lost. And then the next year, the Pacers beat them in 2000. So Reggie Miller got to his first finals
Yep.
uh, for Indiana. But New York just went on a bad roll between, they had their nucleus in Allen Houston and Latrell Sprewell that
Yep.
didn't pan out uh, after that run in 1999. And then Latrell Sprewell, I got kids to feed and refused
Yeah.
the $21 million contract uh, eventually. So he ended up no longer in the league. I think that was with Minnesota actually after he left. And then you just have them having to deal with the big three in the Heatles, LeBron,
Yep.
Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. So their Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire fix didn't work, and it's just a lot of bad history for them. So they felt
Yeah.
like there was a weight lifted off their shoulder just making it to the conference finals. I
Yeah.
sent you some clips about how crazy the city
Yeah.
was about making
Crazy.
just the conference finals. So when you have all of that built in, and then now you got home court advantage, Madison Square Garden, uh,
Yeah.
you got the celebrities in the first row, celebrity row,
Celebrity
excited
row.
to come in, and then you mostly dominate the whole first and middle part of the game to the tune of you're up by heavy double digits
Yeah, you're up
getting
by
into the
19 at
back
one
end of the
point.
fourth quarter,
Yeah.
and there's just a lull that kind of happened, and speculation is that there was some fatigue that happened there
Yeah.
in terms of they're playing at this breakneck pace after uh, that huge weight lifted off their shoulders, knocking out
Yep.
the defending champs in the semifinals. Now you're up big, and then you're watching this team come back, and you just don't have the extra muster to, play smart, like play slower instead of play at the Indiana's pace. Like the quicker the shot you put up, the more shots Indiana has at the basket. Whereas if you hold the ball in the shot clock, you can limit
Yeah. Chew
um,
clock.
their shot attempts. Yeah, you're chewing up clock and trying to draw fouls. I know that the
Yep.
Pacers run after misses
Yep.
and run after makes, so it's really difficult to kind of corral that pace. But especially in the Eastern Conference, they're very much used to that. That's not something that is unfamiliar to them, being able to slow
No.
down the pace, especially with like a Jalen Brunson on your team, who I believe is it's, it feels silly to say, but I feel like he's the most clutch player in the league.
Yeah. I mean, he
When
is.
you got Tyrese Halliburton
Yeah. I
doing what
mean,
he's doing
it's
right now.
in reality, it is, bro. It is Bronson.
So there's just a few adjustments that Minnesota needs to make. Or, I'm sorry, that New York needs to make. But at the end of the day, they had that game locked up, and there
Yeah.
was a lot of just mental lapses from being. I think there was just like a mental fatigue that set in. You had Josh Hart who could barely stay on his feet.
Yep.
For passings and like just passing the ball in
Yeah.
or dribbling. He's just losing balance. You
Yeah.
had Mikal Bridges, who every time he was matched up with Tyrese Halliburton at the top of the key, Tyrese did a little crossover and passed right by him, and he's
Gone.
supposed to be one of the more dominant defenders.
Yeah.
And you can't keep him in front of you at the point of attack. It's kind of crazy. And then you
Yep.
had Mitchell Robinson in there trying to uh, like he was a force when it came to the offensive rebounding in the middle of the game. But at the end of the game, when the Pacers went small
Yep.
and didn't have Miles Turner for a good portion of that fourth quarter, they went small with I think Obi Toppin
Yeah.
was the center.
Yeah.
Mitchell Robinson wasn't the play there,
Nope.
so he should have been set, especially since just they just proved in the last series you could foul Robinson and put him on the line,
Yeah.
and that's actually a danger point for the Knicks, and you
Yep.
kind of want to keep him out of there when the game is in reach like that. So I do feel like the New York Knicks have a an idea of what they need to do to win the series, and I'm not gonna let the theatrics of Game One stir
Yeah.
me from what I initially thought heading into the series.
Mhm. Yeah, and I also want to like state this. I mean, the free throw differential in this game is crazy. I mean, Knicks 40 free throws, Pacers 28. So it's like you won the free throw battle. Like you won like the thing and that like
Pacers
other
shot a
than
lot of threes.
yeah, I,
That's why the discrepancy.
yep,
A ton
34
of
threes from
threes.
the Knicks, 37 from the Pacers. So obviously if you shoot more threes, not getting in the paint, getting as rough, you're not going to get to the line as much, but I mean, the Knicks turnover battle is not like what they had like a bunch of turnovers in that fourth quarter with that 6 minutes left. It just got real sloppy there, and it's just can't do that. But yeah, that and honestly, going into this series, I was not sure who to pick, and so that's why I was like, hey, like I'm just gonna wait till game one to pick who I'm gonna pick, so I can just see like with the eye test, like what it looks like when these two teams are playing each other and like a scenario
They
that
played last. They played last year in the semifinals. You know
yeah that but
exactly
that's
what it
the thing
looks
it's like
like.
but they're different teams now, like it's not
Pacers
like
won last year.
yep they did but yeah it's just oh god what a series. I'm so excited, like this is just going to be such a great series tomorrow. I'm excited for this series, don't get me wrong, but like this I'm pointing to the Timberwolves Thunder series, but um this is just like, I don't know, something about Eastern Conference basketball. This is just like like you're just getting in there and just playing some ball. Like that feels like how I feel when I'm like playing at the Y, like at my local YMCA. Like I feel like it's just Pacers versus Knicks every time. And it's just like, but then I'm getting to see it actually. But yeah, I mean,
Knicks have been fun all playoffs.
yeah,
Knicks
they
versus
have. And
Pistons, Knicks versus Celtics, and
Knicks
now
versus
Knicks
Celtics.
versus
And
Pacers.
yeah, Pacers have been fun all playoffs too. You beat the Bucks, which that feels like a lifetime ago, but it really wasn't. And then you go out, beat the Cavs, and then it's just now we're here. Ah, gosh, I don't know. I don't know what finals matchup I'm really looking for here. Like let's like take away our picks out of all of it. Hypothetical, like what's your favorite matchup that we can get from these four? Like what's your favorite matchup in the finals?
Knicks Timberwolves.
Knicks or Wolves, yeah. Yeah, that would just like that storyline. You got Rick Brunson, Dante.
I just wrote an article on BellyUpSports.com talking about the trade between the Knicks and the Timberwolves.
Yep,
Check it out on BellyUpSports.com, please. All clicks
it's
are
in the
welcome.
description. The link will be in the description for you. I'll make sure to add it.
Thank you. The Carl Anthony Towns. I told everybody his story about how he lost a whole bunch of family members due to COVID, and
Yep.
then finally cracked the code to get to the conference finals with the Timberwolves after being with the team for over 10 years, and then immediately gets traded in the offseason to unfamiliar territory in the Eastern Conference, but he's able to battle back and
Yeah.
be be one of the anchors for this New York Knicks run
Mm-hmm.
to their first conference finals in a long time.
Yeah.
So
Long time.
he's like the you know the same player that's able to bring that kind of luck to another team, and now he's trying to crack the code to get to the finals, which he's never been to. And
Yeah.
they were right there. They had it and they lost it, and that was just game one. So I feel like they'll just go to the drawing board and
Yep.
figure out a way to make it happen. But yeah, storyline wise, that's the reason I wrote about Karl Anthony Towns and Julius Randle, because it's such a perfect trade
Yeah.
that you make that and then both teams succeed from it. That's normally not a thing. It's
Yeah.
normally teams get fleeced one way
Yeah.
or the other, and you have to do it for cap reasons, or you're making trades for cap reasons,
Yep.
or because you don't want to pay a player,
Yeah.
or
They didn't want
he
to be in that
demands out.
second apron.
They
That's
want to
why they
win.
did it. Is they made the trade because
Mhm.
they were like, we don't want to touch that second apron. Understandably, but it's also like you just made the conference finals. Like I remember that was like it was yesterday. Like I was like what? Like this just happened? Like right now?
Right
Like this is
before
what we're
training
doing?
camp.
Yeah, right before training camp. My buddy's a Knicks fan. We had just moved in here, and I was like, "What do you think?" He's like, oh, "I'm so mad." He's like, I didn't like.
What?
He didn't like Julius Randle, but he also didn't like Cat. Like he's not like the biggest Cat guy. And so, but now in retrospect,
That's
I love
weird.
Cat. I love Cat. Maybe I'll get him on here because he's in Italy right now. He'll be back Saturday. So maybe once
Oh,
this is
must be
all wrapped
nice.
up and if the Knicks are in the finals, maybe we'll have him on like that week break that we have.
You traded one big for another, and the big you got is the best shooting big of all time.
Cat costs a
And
lot of money though.
it's yeah, it's easy. I mean, Julius Randle was going to ask for a raise anyway,
Oh
so
well, obviously.
the reason the Knicks kind of pull the trigger on that is like, if we're going to pay a player, we might as well
Mhm.
pay a better player than
Yep.
Julius Randle. So it's an
Which
obvious upgrade.
that makes sense. Yeah. From
Yeah,
like that.
it's obvious upgrade that you were able to do despite the fact that you traded all of your draft capital for Mikal Bridges
Yep.
in the same summer. So lots of moving around when it came to the Knicks. They signed Brunson and Anunoby to extensions this past summer too. So
Yep.
it's really an
All
all
in.
in
Yeah. What,
season for
6
them,
first round picks from
paying
Mikal Bridges? That's crazy.
something like that. Yeah.
That's crazy. That 6. That's crazy. Like imagine, like I would be mad if that happened. If I traded 6 first for Mikal Bridges, a guy who would let me give Mikal his credit in Brooklyn, who was going crazy offensively. And obviously, if you're doing better on one side of the ball, your other is going to go down. So his defense went down just a little bit, not a lot, but I mean he's kind of picked it back up now. But still, 6 first round picks for Mikal Bridges is crazy, crazy.
Hear me out. He plays every game. He
Yeah,
definitely
he
has
does.
an impact on the defensive end, which is Tom Thibodeau's bread and butter.
Yep, he can play the
He
46 minutes that
yeah, he
he
can play
played.
the 46 minutes in every single game. That's what Thibodeau wants.
Yep.
And he already proved his worth with knocking out the defending champs that were fully expected to beat the Knicks,
Yeah.
when he had steals and stuff at the end of multiple games in order
Yeah.
for the Knicks to win. So they've already got their money's worth.
Oh,
And it's not
100% they
necessarily
have.
playing with house money, because their goal was a championship this year, and they put all the chips on the table to win it this year.
Yeah.
Their payroll says that. It's not me saying that, but
Yeah.
the amount of money that they put in to this team means they were trying to win this year, and
Mhm.
they're 4 games away from being to
The
their first finals since 1999. So
crazy.
they're right there, and I feel like they're going to make it.
Yeah, I mean, I would be super excited if the Knicks made it to the finals. I was talking to my buddy about it as well, and I was like, dude, like we might experience like an earthquake like in New York, like if they win. Like it's just like if they go to the finals, just even make it there, they sniff it, and it's just New York might just like collapse. Just like
Pro- Problem is, if they see the Thunder, I don't see them winning against the Thunder.
no, neither do
I
I.
don't think they got a chance at all.
No.
I like this Final Four. Shout out to the NBA. This Final Four is just crazy because
Mhm.
you got teams that haven't won. The Knicks haven't won a final since the '70s, since 1973.
Yep.
The Thunder
One
haven't won
ever.
since they were the Sonics in '79 or something like that.
Yeah, like a long time
But
ago.
the last time they even made the finals was 2012. with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden.
Yep. Yep.
Uh, you have the Indiana Pacers who have never won
Never.
an NBA championship. The last time they went to the finals was 2000, and otherwise, I think they got 3 ABA championships.
Yeah.
And then the Minnesota
Probably something like
Timberwolves,
that.
who the
Nothing.
only championships Minnesota has to show for in basketball as the Minneapolis Lakers
Yeah.
and George Mikan. So
Yeah.
they've never been to the finals as the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah. Even with a guy like KG on your team, and obviously KG left for Boston and won a
One
championship
conference
there.
finals with KG.
Yeah. It's like question. I got like two hypotheticals here coming out of the West. If the Thunder make it to the finals and win it, is Shea higher all time on the leaderboard
No.
no? You think it
Go ahead though. What was the question?
is Shea higher than like Russ all time in OKC?
Oh, I thought you were talking about all time in terms of like all players winning MVP and then Finals MVP type thing.
Oh no, I'm talking
Higher
he
than.
wins the chip on top of it. What does that do for the city of
Oh yeah.
Oklahoma City?
Obviously, he runs OKC.
Yeah.
His era surpasses the Thunder era the minute they win a chip, because that Thunder team in 2012 was the only team that made the finals. I think they only had one other conference finals after that.
Which they blew the 3-1 lead in.
Yeah, I think that. No. Oh yeah. So they had two conference finals.
Yeah.
One, I think they lost to the Spurs in 2013. That's when Miami beat San Antonio in the finals.
Yeah, you're right. You might be right on that. Yeah.
And then I believe it's 2015. No, 2014. Well, no, it was 2016. 2016 when they made the conference finals.
Yep.
And had that 3-1 lead against the
Warriors.
The Warriors, and ended up blowing that. Then the Warriors blew a 3-1 lead in the finals to LeBron James. But yeah, obviously, if SGA wins the wins the title and wins Finals MVP, then he's the man there at OKC. Like most people don't even like, they're not Sonics fans or anything like that, but the people who even remember the Sonics from back then, it would say that SGA is still the best that they've seen.
I would agree on that. If they win a championship, I would definitely agree. Okay, now for the other team in the West, obviously the Timberwolves, right? So they've had KG, now they have Ant. If they somehow pull this off, beat the Thunder, and then win the NBA Finals, is Ant ranked higher all time than KG? And I have this for the Pacers and Knicks as well, because I've seen a little bit of discourse about all these.
Is he better? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's they're not gonna say that Kevin Garnett is a worse player than Ant is.
He's a better player than Ant, but like for the
Timberwolves,
it's definitely be Ant. And so
he's going to be more beloved. Everybody was happy that KG was able to get his ring. It just wasn't in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And he eventually came back.
Yeah, he came back.
They were happy that he was able to retire with them. However, winning rings is the number one more important thing. So as soon as we get to Indiana, the answer is yes.
Yes, the answer is yes. And for the Knicks is with like who's what? Not Carmelo. It's probably Ewing, right? Like I don't know who the Knicks think their number one guy is, but like I think it would be Brunson if they win a chip. And I think there's no question in that.
It would be Brunson, because I don't think people are going back to Walt Frazier, or Willis Reed or anything like that. So the here and now is more important than back then, unless we're talking about a whole ton of rings type thing, like a Bill Russell or something like that. So Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown is not going to eclipse
No,
Bill Russell or Larry
no,
Bird
no.
or something like that off of one run. Those are different types of franchises.
Yeah, it's different types of franchises, but that's why, like, when all the seeding was done after the second round, and like when I really looked at like who was in the playoffs, the left in the playoffs, I was like we're gonna just get like this is just gonna be fun basketball for anybody to watch, just because no one's really won anything. Like, it's been a long time for all of these teams, or ever for these teams. It's like, because I saw one guy say Paul George, if Tyrese Halliburton wins the chip, Paul George is still ranked ahead of him. No, Paul George is not still ranked ahead of Tyrese Halliburton if they win a championship. Paul George just wasn't doing the stuff. Like, he was doing the stuff Tyrese Halliburton was doing, but Tyrese wins them a chip. He is ranked higher all time for the Pacers than Paul George. There's no question about that. And I've seen, like, the guy, I don't remember who said it, but he was like, just everything else that Paul George won. It's like, but what else did he win? Nothing. He did nothing. He did pretty much nothing in his time in Indiana other than get beat by the Heatles every year. And then got traded to OKC and became an MVP candidate.
Reggie Miller had way more moments than
but like
Paul George and over.
Yeah, okay. Well, then let's say Reggie Miller then, right? Let's say Reggie Miller, like, replace Paul George for Reggie Miller. Like, is Tyrese better than Reggie for the Pacers than Reggie Miller was? Like,
not better. We're talking about more beloved, right?
Beloved, like all time favorite player. Like, because Devin Booker's not the best player to ever play for the Suns. It's Charles Barkley, right? But like, Devin Booker is the Suns guy.
It's gonna be Tyrese over. Gonna be more beloved than Reggie because you've seen this ridiculous run Tyrese is on, right?
Yeah.
Starting with the Olympic gold in August and moving on to all of these incredible clutch shots. I think I sent you the video where Tyrese Halliburton has made 14 out of 16 clutch shots in the last minute or 2 minutes of a game all season. Like 14 out of 16, like between threes, layups, whatever you want to call it. That is Jordan doesn't have those numbers. Let's start there. Well, let's go to the very top. Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, none of these little dudes got can really hold a candle to the great overrated one, Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
But just that run by itself, that was to take it all the way to the finals and win it, presumably over an OKC team who won 64 games.
Yeah.
That's arguably one of the most ridiculous run in NBA history. It's right there with like Dwayne Wade's run, which is not as Dwayne Wade's run is not as impressive, being as Miami was a good team at that time versus nobody had the Pacers, doing that, and the Pacers come in at this breakneck pace that they play. And Reggie Miller has been to a finals and multiple conference finals and had more moments because he played longer.
Yeah, but like, whose moments are like more pivotal? Like that, I think it's Tyrese's moments are like, and for me, right, like, this is from not being a Pacers fan and not watching Reggie Miller play basketball just because I wasn't alive. But like, for me, like hitting 14 out of 16 clutch shots, like, that is like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, no one will be able to like try to convince me that Tyrese isn't like the all-time legend for the Pacers if he wins the championship. Like, I just don't think there's a conversation to be had. I think it can be a topic, be like, oh, but like Reggie's too. It's like, well, yeah, Reggie's too, but it's like he's not one. And that's just how it's going to be. That was some time on those topics, but all right. I
was a big Reggie Miller fan when I was.
He was just a shooter, and he did the choke. Right now, he was about it for sure. Hold on. All NBA rookie teams came out as well, along with the MVP. For the first team, Spurs, Stephon Castle, Grizzlies, Zach Edey, Hawks, Zachary Ricochet, Wizards, Alex Sarr, Grizzlies, Jalen Wells. That is the first team for the all rookies. I'll just name the second team just so we can just get them named. Matas Buzelis for the Bulls, Bub Carrington for the Wizards, Donovan Clingan for the Trailblazers, Yves Messi for the Pelicans, and Kalel where for the Miami Heat are the all rookie teams for this year.
Shout out to
There
my
we go.
Heat. Hey, we got one. I'm sad about Jared McCain.
Yeah,
With that
he's obviously
injury,
on there if he's healthy.
he was potentially a front runner for the MVP, for the Rookie of the Year award, but I can't really complain about who they did pick.
No,
Um, I concur with all of that stuff.
yeah,
Sorry for the Rockets fans who thought that Reed Shepard was the next coming of Steph Curry. He did
yeah,
not get minutes on a on a 52 win team, so
yeah.
probably not the second coming of Steph Curry. That's
Probably
to
not.
be decided.
All right. All NBA defensive teams. Or actually, let me say something about the rookie teams. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
like Jalen Wells, don't get me wrong, he had a great year. His second half of the year was not as good as his first half of the year, obviously, right? If I'm remembering that correctly, it could be flipped around. I'm kind of like the regular season
I
is
think
almost
it
a
might
blur.
be flipped around. It's
Then
flipped
it's flipped
around,
around.
I think.
Um, I kind of thought Khalil Ware might have gotten the other spot on the first team. That's kind of just what I thought. That was kind of like just like in my head thinking, but like looking at it on paper, it would have been Castle, Edie, Ricochet, Sar, and Khalil Ware. Like look at the size of that rookie team would have what Castle's 6'5", like 6'5" plus. Like that's actually crazy. But yeah, shout out to all those guys. I mean
Those guys those centers that got selected played good this year,
yeah,
and a lot of them got playoff minutes. So I'm very
yeah.
happy about that too. So that's very promising for the youth of the league.
Yeah, and Stephon Castle would have gotten playoff minutes if Wemby didn't get his blood clot. Um, I mean, and a guy who I'm super excited for next year, by the way, is Matas. Like, I feel like Matas is going to be so good. Like, he's so fun to watch. But,
He was in the dunk contest.
yep,
He's growing as a player. I liked him coming into the draft once I heard his background and stuff like that. Multi-sport athlete,
yeah,
athlete parents. He's really intriguing.
yeah, he is, and he's just and we really got to see him just level up throughout the year as well. Like that's also what made it entertaining for me to watch as well, because it's like, oh, like watching like actual rookies like grow in their first year of the league. That's just fun for me. Like it's just like because it shows you it's like there's levels to this stuff, and it's like you think you're that guy coming into the draft, and then you're not, and then you actually become that guy when everything's all said and done. I don't know. That's just the fun stuff for me. But the all defensive first team, I'll name those off as well. Dyson Daniels from the Atlanta Hawks, Lou Dort from the Thunder, Draymond Green from the Warriors, our defensive player of the year, Evan Mobley from the Cavs, and from your Houston Rockets, Amen Thompson. That is the first team. Second team is Tumani Komara, previous Suns draft pick. He plays for the Trailblazers now. Rudy Gobert, Timberwolves, Jaren Jackson, Grizzlies, obviously, J-Dub from the Thunder, and Zubac from the Clippers. Those are all defensive teams. There's it on the screen. Forgot to change the title, but that's all right.
Shout out to Zubac.
Yep.
Most improved on an all defensive team. He made himself some money this year. I think James Harden played a pivotal role in that too. When you have a premier guard, I've said on this podcast before, I believe having a premier guard can elevate what you have in terms of bigs.
Oh yeah.
Like they get to a second level a lot easier when they have premier guard play. So
yeah,
I just wanted to say shout out to Zubac. Shout out to Amen Thompson being a second year player on All NBA first team.
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
No, it's not.
Victor Wembanyama's gonna take a spot. So, if we're looking ahead, if you're trying to get on that first team again, you're gonna need to have a better defensive season than a guy like Lou Dort and stuff like that.
Which I expect from Amen Thompson to have. Like I expect him to just elevate his game just through and through. Like I don't know about you, but like I would like to see him play like a bunch of like point guard minutes next year. Like that, like I just think that's the spot where he can just grow into the best player that he can be.
But I'm interested in seeing how his focus on affects his focus on defense. So as his offense grows, does
Uh-huh.
his defense kind of level off? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
So
and
that's to be decided.
yeah, and I think that really like I feel like that kind of just also depends on who they have around him. Like if he can like really just become a guy that's like a high level playmaker and an elite defender at a point like he's gonna and being like he's super athletic. Like I mean he's got everything other than like really shooting, right? But I feel like he was in the corner like making some of the corner ones like that just takes time. But I think if as long as they just put like the right team like around him, obviously with like Şengün, a guy that can take over the offense whenever he wants to. I think his defense, I don't know if his defense is really going to like start falling, like where we'll see just like a complete switch around. So,
But Wemby's coming. Chet
Wemby is
Holmgren is coming in terms of potential defensive players to make the
Cooper
team in the
Flag,
future.
Cooper Flag.
Cooper Flag, who's a super dominant defensive player,
Yep.
in my opinion, is going to be a very tall wing for the Dallas Mavericks next year.
Yep.
And you've already seen a sophomore make the All Defensive first team in Amen Thompson. So
Yeah.
Cooper Flag has that possibility. And I've already said on the previous podcast, I believe that Cooper Flag might be my favorite player.
Yeah.
Once he steps onto the court next year, I really just love his game.
Yeah.
But yeah, those defensive player of the years, I really don't have an argument for who's on the list too. It's just sad that Wemby did not make the 65 game cut to be qualified
So dumb.
for to make the team.
He had the defensive player of the year wrapped up within like a month and a half of the season starting. Like, I mean, it was just like, and that's just how it's going to be, which I mean, obviously, like, I'm fine with. Like, I don't really, like, that's not something I'm going to complain about seeing a guy like that just like dominate defensively. But yeah, when all NBA teams come out.
And Draymond Green, just wanted to give a quick shout out to him making All NBA first team. Just FYI, the guys that got more All NBA first teams than him are all Hall of Famers, I believe.
Yeah, so, I mean, Draymond deserves the respect.
He's destined for that.
Yeah. No, I mean, Draymond, all the stuff we say about him, I mean, he still gets it done. And if that means he's not getting it done physically, he's getting it done mentally. So it's like, I mean, he's really across the board. All right, Hidro, where can they find you?
I am at the Hero Joe, THAHEROJOE on X and Instagram. And you can find my articles, my NBA articles or basketball in general articles on BellyUpSports.com. Yep. The latest one being about Karl Anthony Towns, the trade prior to this season from the Minnesota Timberwolves, where he spent the first 13 years of his career to now with the Knicks, and how that trade panned out between the Knicks and the Timberwolves for both teams. So yeah, please check me out on BellyUpSports.com.
Sweet.
And yourself, Jacob?
You can find me at Hammy 2004, not spelled like Hammy, but HAMIE. That's how it's spelled, 2004. Obviously, you can find us on Twitter at Hardwood Huddle. Make sure to like, subscribe. Hidro's newest article will be in the description, along with our affiliate link for Opus Clips if you need your AI clips and needs. It's super easy. It helps me out all the time. Thank you to BellyUp Sports again. Yeah, make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, show your grandma, show everybody. It helps us. And it's commenting and liking and subscribing are free. So it's as simple as that. If you have an email, you can subscribe and like and make sure you keep up with all of our content. So Hidro, have a good one.
I'll have a better one than these Timberwolves who are getting blown out by these Thunder right now in game 2.
Score is, let me just voice this before we officially end, 93-71, end of the third. That's playoff basketball.
I still think the Timberwolves can win too, by the way. I still think the Timberwolves can win.
I think they can as
well.
They
got to figure something out. They got to figure out crack the code first.
Yep. Julius Randle can't have 6 points, 5 boards, and 5 assists in a playoff game like this if they want to win. But we'll be back on the next episode of the Hardwood Huddle. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share. Let us know how we're doing. All right. Have a good one.
Peace.